And you joined, and you became an active grand team member quite young, weren't you?
Yes, I was the youngest in the team. What happened? Arthur Kearden, he was the chief executive of the Homes, a mentor to me really, and he said to me one day, Smithy, he said, in those days, grand stewards were appointed according to the lodge number.
So it used to be an ascending number.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And he said, it's our turn to nominate a grand steward. So he said, I'm planning to nominate you. I said, that's good, Arthur. What does it involve? I didn't know anything about Grand Lodge. He said, don't worry. He said, you have to go to an odd installation, and that was about it. Now, what happened next?
Well, he didn't tell you it was a number of dozen odd.
Well, I was worshipful master at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was worshipful master and grand steward, and 212 nights later, that's how many I'd been out for that year. 212
nights?
212. Now, I don't recommend that, and since then I've recommended very strongly against it, because I had 4 young girls. That was very hard on my wife. And so, the lodge would, the grand team would go away for a weekend or somewhere, and I'd say, look, it's all right, I can get back at night. So I
because it's about managing a career, a family,
yes.
and the grand team all at the same time. Cool.
Yes. But, and of course, in those days, we had one car, and so you can't go to lodge in the car and have nor the girls to get to various clubs and sporting things and so forth. So it was quite hard.
So that year as grand steward, despite the fact you were out 212 nights, which is a pretty heavy burden, that actually provided the springboard really for your rest of your Masonic career, didn't it?
Well, yes, I didn't think about it in that term much, but what happened, Robert Risson, he was also an engineer, of course, and I now wear his regalia. But he lived not far from here, just down in Burwood, and I often picked him up. But before that, he decided to appoint me as a senior Grand Deacon. So I went Grand Steward in 1970, senior Grand Deacon in 1975, and that was a very enjoyable year. It's probably the best job in the team, senior Grand Deacon, because you're involved and active
for the whole night.
Yeah, yes. It's but you're not supposed to laugh when the director drops the baton or anything like that, because he's inclined to want to throw it at you. And then a year or two later, we were dealing at work quite often with John Connell, and he rang and he said, look, I'd like to take you out to lunch. Now, there's no such thing as a free lunch, as you know. So he took me out to lunch. He said, I'd really like you to take over as Grand Superintendent of Works, because he'd been doing it for 6 or 7 years then. I think it was also a case that John was a great forward sort of planner, come set things up. He wasn't one of the people who came along and tidied up the end. So he had a number of sort of schemes that were in midstream and weren't finished by a lot. In fact, some of them were barely started. So he said, look, if you can fix this, if you can fix Timburn, and if you can fix Warragul, and I think Traralgon will be all right. But so I think for my term I had 6 new centres built, and we went through a sort of consolidation period for a while. Waverley, Ringwood, were all done at that stage.
Because I've still got a copy of the Masonic Accommodation Report from 1970.
That's right.
So it's not a recent issue. It's been going
No.
for a long time.
Well, he was asked to do that by Clive Harris, Judge Harris. So he did a report, and he did then